eating fruits and vegetables has always been a part of my family. And I would say starting with my mom and my grandmother, because if nothing else was on the plate, you had to have a vegetable. We grew up in the age where I wasn't given money to go to school for recess. And at home, it would be, no chips, no biscuit. It would be that you go to someone's house, a neighbor house, and you would pick mangoes or plums, crabble, different fruits, and that's what you would have for your snack time. And so that has always been a part of my life.
I like fruits more than veggies, but veggies are good. I like Brussels sprouts because it tastes good, and I like the crunch and the way my mom seasons, and broccoli, and carrots, and pickles.
In between those years, that's many years, from my grandmother to where I am now, I did fall off here and there, high on the carbs, white rice, white flour, whatever it may be. But it got to a point where I was like 205 pounds, something like that. And I decided I need to do something. Now, at that point, I couldn't afford to go to the gym. And I remember seeing that your diet or losing weight is 80% what you eat. And so I started to change the way I eat. And it was just simply portioning. So instead of having half the plate with white rice or flour or whatever it is, it would be half the plate with vegetables, the next quarter with protein, and the next quarter with carbs. But by the time I was able to go to the gym, I was at 171, which was my, what I call, ideal weight. And so I realized, wow, it is really about what you eat. At that point, especially my daughter had a lot of darkening around your neck, which an aunt of mine and a profession in the healthcare system told me that was signs of being pre-diabetic. And so I know, okay, I had to definitely change, because diabetes, hypertension, heart diseases, cancer are those NCDs that are prevalent in my family line on both sides. And so that's what made me change. It's not to say that I never have a chip. It's not to say the kids never have an ideal, but it's to say that we 80-20 rule, 80%, and the next 20 we are able to have a little fun. There's also a rule in my house that whatever mom serves, that's what you're going to eat. And so they really have no other choice. So they would do different strategies, like eat the kale first and then save what they want after, or the parts they like for last. Or my daughter would mix, if I'm having brown rice with baked chicken and spinach, she would mix the rice with her spinach to help it go down easier. So they find different tactics to eat the things that they don't like, but they eat every and all vegetable, because I serve every and all vegetable, and we have, the rule. What I've noticed through just the years is definitely eat what is in season. No question about that, because you want to get it at a cheaper rate. Aim for your market day and develop relationships with your vendors. I think as women, we shop around for the best prices. So find the ones that have the best prices and stick with those vendors. Why? Because you develop a relationship with them. If the tomato costs $150 and you have $125, they say, no man, carry it. So one day I went to the market and it was like the end of the day and everybody's trying to leave, and there was papayas that had bruises, wholly generally good, just a couple pieces that would need to be cut out. And he gave me for 50 cents. So don't be afraid to take the vegetables or fruits that, don't look so pretty, but you can still, if it's two ripe bananas and they're selling 10 per dollar, then still get them. You can freeze them, make them into a shake, make one banana cake, make juice, try to grow your own. At the market day, when you buy the pineapples, they take off the heads and they throw it to the side. You could ask for that to not be taken off. You take it off yourself, peel away the extra leaves on the bottom, soak it in water, and it starts to develop the roots. Plant it. In 2 years, I know it's a long time, but you have your own pineapples. Things that you use a lot. I haven't planted onions as yet because it takes so long to grow. But sweet peppers, you can do that on your own. I've planted kale. At this moment, I have mint, rosemary, thyme. So try to plant the things that you would use often, or things that cost so much. Try to plant it, because a bunch of mint would be $2, $3, but a packet of seeds is $3, and you'd get a bunch of mint or a bunch of whatever it is, string beans. So try, I know that not everybody's yard has, the perfect soil and conditions to grow, but whatever is possible to grow around your area, try to plant. Definitely use what is in season because you won't get a lot. Like right now, tomatoes are like $1.50. In months from now, it will become $2, $2.50. And if they're really, really cheap right now, and you would slice them on the bottom, like a little cross at the bottom, put them in hot water to boil, take them out, put them in cold water, peel off the skins, and you can always freeze them. And then later on, you can use that to make a tomato sauce. You can put that in your egg. So just try to be proactive, ask questions, Google things if you're not sure or want ideas. That's probably the hardest part about cooking, because if you don't have what you need at the moment to make what you want, you're more likely to buy something, or you're more likely to eat something that is not good for you. So sit down on a weekend and say, okay, I want to make stir fry, I want to make brown rice with stew beans and baked chicken and spinach. Write that down, and then write down the ingredients that you need. So when you go to the market, it's one haul for 5 days worth of meals, and that way you save yourself gas, of course, and then you get everything. And if you buy more, again, the vendors you're used to would be willing to give you a little discount. So I have a good rapport with one of the market vendors that when I buy a certain amount, he'll throw in like 3 papaya or 2 papaya and some passion fruit. So if you have that good relationship with them, it's helpful. They benefit from your purchases, of course, and you benefit from their willingness to share and help you. If you have family, like a big family, try to get, like what my mom and I used to do. We would order a crate of chicken breasts. We would split the cost, and that would come out cheaper if I would buy a chicken bag today and then a bag of chicken tomorrow. And so if we would lump sum with a family or with someone and you split the cost, you get more for less. My health is first, and I also know that if I don't take the time to do certain things, I'll pay for it at the hospital. My mom used to host exchange students, and there was this elderly couple who came and stayed with her and were with us at that time. And they made this like squash. I call it squash satay because it sounds, fancy, but it's basic. So what it is just you chop up some onions. I prefer yellow onions, but you can use whatever you want. I prefer a little bit of coconut oil in this specific meal, so a little bit of coconut oil. Saute that, and then you would add your tomatoes chopped up. You would let it simmer a little bit till it starts to become, loose and the skin starts to move away from the pulp. And then afterwards, you would add your chopped squash. So it's like a mint green, palish outside with some darker green stripes. So you put that in and you let it simmer. It might need a little bit of water. You could add a little bit, not too much, because it'll start to release its own, water. You add salt, you add black pepper if you want pepper. It's up to you. And garlic, cilantro, and pepper are like basics to any meal. And then you would let that simmer, and once the liquid is kind of dried out, you would sprinkle some cheese. Cheddar cheese, Dutch cheese, whatever cheese you prefer. And I would do that. And my kids love that. And I would serve that with nothing, and that would be just that. And and toasted whole wheat bread or something along that line. That's one of my go-to breakfast or supper. It's fast and it's healthy.
I cook egg, ham, sometimes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Other times I make grilled cheese.
I know people not like oatmeal. It's not everybody's favorite. It never used to be my favorite as a child either. But it's really something you can play with the flavors. And so for my kids, I would make chocolate oatmeal. So we would use the chocolate powder. I prefer to do it on the stove. I don't like it in the microwave, and I prefer the old-fashioned, so the bigger grains, right? So you would put some water, I put a little bit of salt in it, and then I would add the chocolate powder, oatmeal, let that go. I don't like it too mushy. Like, I want a little bite to my oats, so I don't let it go too far. But if that's your preference, why not? I would add some honey, some chia seed, flax seeds, and that would be the breakfast.
I like oats. Oats is yummy. Especially the cinnamon. Yep, cinnamon. And my mom, sometimes she puts peanut butter and jelly in it. which I normally eat out their jelly and peanut butter first, so it's kind of sad because I don't have anything to go with it. So I always do that, and it's still good.
Stir fries are my best. You just use really whatever is hanging out in the fridge. Like if your carrot is about to go bad, you have, a celery that's starting to wilt to the side. Just use whatever is in your fridge, a little bit of oil. You can use chicken if you want to, brown that first. Or if you would like no chicken, no problem. Then you would stir fry your meat. I take that out. Then I stir fry my vegetables separately. So I would do like the onions, then the peppers, then the carrots, then cauliflower, then broccoli, whatever you prefer, zucchini, the whole 9 yards. And then I would combine that together with a sauce, ginger, garlic, a little bit of cornstarch to help, with the gravy. My kids love that, and so that is often my go-to. I would use that same combination to make like a chow mein, lo mein kind of thing. And now the stores are offering so much variety in noodles. Pick what noodle you want, and you do your stir fry, and you mix it all up, and I make a big bowl, and that's for lunch today and lunch tomorrow.
I like my mom's mushroom burger. It had tomatoes, cheese, lettuce, and big mushroom with some sauce that tastes good, and the bun on top.
My kids are homeschooled now, so we don't have to do the packed lunch. But when I used to send them to school, it would be a peanut butter sandwich with some carrots, or maybe celery, carrots, and peanut butter. It would definitely always be a fruit in there. Apple, pineapple, and bananas. Oh gosh. Those I buy at $2 at a time. Sometimes it's like 8 for $1 or 10. They eat bananas like nobody's business. $2 banana, which is either 16 or 20, would last like a day and a half. That is always in the home. And sometimes I would buy rice crackers, and that would be like with peanut butter. But it's mostly fruits. Mostly fruits, because it's the most reasonable and you get a good quantity. And my children don't eat small. I mean, I'm a big person and they have a very healthy appetite. So it's always mostly fruits.
I like watermelon, orange, even apple, and pineapple.
Gardening for me, I think for like most people, started with the pandemic, right? Because we were all like, oh my gosh, there'll be no food. How will I eat? Survival mode. So that's when I started. Like I had a couple plants here and there, but it was nothing. I really extended my garden when the pandemic hit and I started to buy seeds. Big up to all the farmers. Things attack your vegetation. You really have to be on the vigilante. But you can plant some today or for this season, and when it's finished, you still have seeds for another season. A friend once told me that I should have done the calculation as to how much I've saved because I planted cherry tomatoes, which cherry tomatoes are like $5 for the little packets. And I had loads to give to my mom, to share with myself. I would do cucumber again because that's something we eat a lot. Salads, we eat a lot of that at home. I've done basil, sage, silver grass, culantro, cilantro. At that time during the pandemic, cilantro was $12, $15 a pound. So when I had at home, I didn't have to buy. And that really then showed me the power of home gardening. And then my children are involved, obviously, because they're involved in the weeding and the picking. I'm very big on being connected to nature, honoring and respecting all living things and the life course. And so for me, it gives them a chance to see themselves beyond just being human and consuming all these things, but also able to see the tree from small and to clear the weeds, and it grow and it gives us food and you eat the food. And so they've been able to be a part of that. And it's also a therapy for me. I think the more you're more conscious of what you put into your body, you're conscious about other things, what goes into your mind and all of that. So I just want us as a society to really be more conscious about what we are consuming. So many people are finding it so difficult to change their diet because our culture, we've been eating all of this rice from small. And now at 30, 40, doctors saying, oh, cut out rice and cut out. and it's difficult, and some people don't know what to eat. Some people decide not to eat or eat rarely. I really would want to encourage people to just start from where you are, start small, but just being a bit more conscious about it and bit by bit making those steps to make the change. And our generation will thank us for it.